The world is at a crossroads, and we have been sitting here dumbfoundedly for quite some time. The starting point of our crossroad begins in 1945, when a B-52 bomber carried and deployed a Fat Man bomb onto the city of Hiroshima, and a few days later, on Nagasaki. It was the beginning of a new age. It was an age where we had come to fear nuclear weapons. Famously, upon seeing his creation, Einstein was reputed to say, "If only I had known, I would have become a watchmaker." It certainly doesn't help that the majority of statisticians and generals and politicians treated the nuclear situation as if it were a game. It also produced a number of notable nuclear arms limitation treaties, such as the SALT I and II talks and the 1963 Nuclear Test Ban Treaty. But we're past that already. The Cold War is over. USSR is no more, and the situation is at peace. However, I am one to argue that the tensions have been raised as of late. But where are we exactly today? Well, for starters, instead of having 5 nuclear powers, we now have over 24. This means that diplomacy is much more delicate, and it's much more frail and fragile than it used to be, because you're dealing with many nations, and they all have different agendas. To name a couple of these crises between the powers, we have North Korea threatening to blow up the West, and the West threatening to blow up North Korea. Let's also not forget the struggle between India and Pakistan, which very easily could turn nuclear. The last major crisis that I'm going to state is between Israel and the Muslim world, and it's certainly not the least. It's mostly just taunting, I suppose, but just like the other crises, it could easily become much more than just taunting. The world that we live in now is just as significant and is just as serious as the world that people were living in during the Cold War. There is still that imminent threat of nuclear annihilation, and the fact that there are so many nations that not only have the power, but are willing to use it under very likely circumstances. It's incredibly concerning, and I think that everybody should keep a strong eye on it and advocate for nuclear disarmament. In summary, forget your ideologies, please. I'd rather have future generations sleep easy in cities that our generation helped create than dilapidated ruins that we could possibly destroy.